cover the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. If you have Bhagavad Gita, you can use. 11th chapter, universal forms, Vishwarup Sandarshana Yoga. Give me 1 minute. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Tira Vanachari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jama Sundara Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Go परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा में यमुनामाई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all lorries to assemble devotees all lorries to assemble devotees all lorries to assemble devotees all lorries Shri Guru and Gauranga Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutre Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidram Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Panchachadesthar So the 11th chapter of the universal form, if you have Bhagavad Gita, please keep it open. I'm not a presentation guy, so too much attached to Prabhupada, so I always followed as it is, so even in that. So in the 11th chapter, it is called universal form or Viswarupa Sandarshana Yoga from Baladev Vidyabhushan and other acharyas. It has 5 sections. Each chapter we should understand the sections, what Krishna is speaking, what Arjuna is asking. And we should also understand the connection where it started, where 11th chapter, each chapter started, so that we can analyze it, we can put in practice, and what are the essential points. So 11th chapter started because 10th chapter at the end, after explaining all the opulences of the Absolute, Lord has quoted one verse, Ata bahuna atena kim gratena bhavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekam sena sthito jagat. So the Vishwanath Chakra Thakur and others are explaining that ekam sena sthito jagat means Paramatma form. So, and further expansion, the Purusha Avatar, 3 Purusha Avatars are there. One of them is Paramatma, with super soul in all living entities. So his expansion. So now Arjuna wants to know what is all the opulence you have described from almost 30 or so. From 7th chapter started, but 10th chapter a lot more opulence is described. So Arjuna wants to know, can I see the opulence? Kechu bhaveshu parichantayan. How can I see? How can I remember? How can I meditate? Yes, for those pure devotees, yes, they can immediately remember. But for ordinary persons, how can I think of you? How can I remember you? So can you tell? So that's why this 11th chapter, Arjuna, this continuation of the universal form is coming into picture. So now the 11th chapter has 5 different sections. First 1 to 8 is first section. It is called Arjuna's requesting universal form from the Lord Krishna, and then Lord Krishna describing the about the universal form. That is 1 to 8. That is the first section. And then the next section 9 to 28, 9 to 31. 9 to 31 is Sanjaya describing the universal form. 3 times it repeats. Some of the verses also a little bit repeating of the prayers, beautiful prayers in this chapter. Big chapter also, 55 verses. So 9 to 32 is second section, which is describing, Sanjaya is describing the universal form, what he is seeing. So how he is able to see? So not everybody is able to see. Even if they are able to see, not everybody is able to understand Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna's personality. So Sanjaya is able to see. In the last chapter we will see that. In the 18th chapter is describing 74, 75 verses. Beautifully is describing. I've given a class in CNJ before. The title is How to One Wants to be Joyful and Thrilled. Then you have to study those verses, 2 verses, understand the purport, deeply study it, contemplate it. So then it will give the essence, how one can become joyful permanently every day. How one can be thrilled permanently every day. While chanting, while dancing, while hearing, while doing any devotion practice. Because he has received from the mercy from the spiritual master Vyasadeva. So he could see, even though personally he was not there, we are all personally there while chanting, while hearing, darshan, we are all personally there. But Sanjaya was not even personally there in front of Lord Krishna. So that means we can't complain that Prabhu, I am on Zoom, Prabhu, I am remote, Prabhu, I am here. So this is the best example. Sanjaya is, by the mercy of spiritual master, he could see what's going on. He could see as a TV exactly what's going on, what Krishna is saying, each and every word, in rapt attention. He could relate exactly with Dhritarashtra. He is speaking. So those 74, 75 verses, repeatedly is telling, Hruschamicha punah punah, Hruschamicha muhur muhu. I am being thrilled with this holy dialogue between Krishna and Kesavarjuna Samvadam Punyam, describing Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra, even after hearing, he was not the same. Nobody was like that. Dhritarashtra was not joyful, Dhritarashtra was not thrilled either. Only it was Sanjaya and Arjuna. It was not the case with many of those who are on the battlefield. It was not described like that. So that means we can understand what is the oral reception of the, so that is my humble request. Please pay attention. That is, Prabhupada calls it many places. Oral reception means you have to be in rapt attention. Nothing else should come into the ear. It has to go into the heart. Pravishna karnarandrena swanam bhavasaroram durmoti samalam Krishna salilam yatasara. Karnarandrena, it should go to karnarandrena and it should touch the heart. Then the transformation can happen. We'll elaborate on that, how we can do that effectively. So that is the second section of the Sanjaya describing universal form. And the third section is time I am. Krishna is describing time I am. Become my instrument. That is the main point. Become my instrument. Because everything is under the control of the Lord. We are not the controller, we are not the enjoyer, we are not the proprietor. Who we are the cooperators. From the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, anybody has read it. So Prabhupada's books always read end to end. First page to end. Anything Prabhupada written, everything you read. Because everything has a great significance, what he describes, how he puts it. So it right away goes into the heart and it transforms us. It helps us to decode what he's telling and puts us, where we will be able to put in practice. But if you pick up somewhere in the middle, anywhere still it's a nectar like a sugar candy, sugar cane. But still, to make it sense, to put in practice, one should understand that from end to end. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, many times we ignore the introduction, we jump directly. But ideally we should do from the beginning. Even chanting of the holy names also for that matter, same thing. So whatever Prabhupada described, exactly follow the same process. Then you can see the desire very quickly, rapidly, immediately, very quick. That means chanting the holy name has to be done before 10 offenses has to be known, has to be chanted mentally, or you read from a paper if you don't remember it. And you should chant 6 ashtakam, you should take darshan in person or remote, and you should chant Tulsi Pranam mantra, you should offer obeisance Tulsi Pranam. Then you should chant 6 ashtakam. This is what in all ISKCON temple, this is what goes on every day. Mangalarati. So exact same process you follow. It takes only 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We are remote darshan you take and then you follow it. It doesn't take much time. Once you do it repeatedly, it takes few minutes. And then you get on chanting. So with that absorption, that's why this Mangala Acharan, all this, Prabhupada has established very clear process in everything. For the class, for the kirtan, for chanting. Exact process, if you follow it, you will see immediately. If you don't follow it, then you can't expect the results. Because this chapter is that like that only. That's why Prabhupada called it as essence of Bhagavad Gita, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, 3.30 and 11.55. Essence and purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Very important verse, 11.55. That is what we are going to cover. So the third section is 31 to 32, become an instrument, I am. And the next section is 33 to 46, Arjuna's prayers. Arjuna's prayers. And prayers are also very important. Is a very integral part of limbs of devotion, 64 limbs of devotion service. Nectar of Devotion talks about it in the 6th chapter, Bhakti Rasamra Sindhu. Prabhupada mentions 2 books prominently, everywhere purport. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad, these 2 books. Always study yourself, but more important, study in the association of, as Prabhu announced, in the association of devotees. In this verse also, in this chapter also that is being stressed, in the association of devotees, so that we can understand. Many times we may not be able to understand. So if we read ourselves, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad, both. And then Prabhupada adds on 2 more, Nectar Devotion and Chaitanya Charitamrita. These 4 books are the most prominent, most important. Pradyumna Prabhupada's scholar, Sanskrit scholar, Pandit, translating synonyms he used to do. Most of the books he did, all these, especially Nectar Devotion. He mentioned, Prabhupada mentioned to him these 4 books. Bhagavad Gita is so important that Prabhupada went on telling that I want to rewrite again Bhagavad. So many commentaries are there. I want to write again. Prabhupada, you already did. No, I want to write again. So that's so important. Many times Bhagavad Gita I have already done 10 times, 15 times. I will just read Bhagavatam. No, Bhagavad Gita also has to be read every day. Evening, Bhagavatam is morning. Because foundational knowledge. Who cannot read, if at all, if somebody wants to do just Bhagavatam or Chaitanya, if he is not on the body level, if he is practically operating is on the spirit soul, then okay. But if we are acting, most of us, at least I am on the body platform, then we have to read, because Bhagavad Gita is giving that foundation. If you are always thinking I am the body, then it's very difficult. So that's why Bhagavad Gita teaches how we are not the body and how we can come to that transcendental state. So that's why Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is very important things to understand. So that's why prayers are very important, Arjuna's prayers, because by prayers, then we can understand the whole devotional aspect. No prayers means no submission, means you can't chant, no submission means you can't hear, no submission means you can't do service, no submission means you can't associate with devotees properly, you will not be respectful, you will be criticizing, you will be finding fault, all these things will come. If there is submission before, then all these things will automatically follow its course. So that is submission to the Lord, submission to the Parampara Acharya, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Varga and Sadhus. It's very important to follow this principle. That is Arjuna's prayers. For that, that's the prayers means submission, pranipata. And then the last section, which is the 5th one, which is Lord is, what is the, I'm forgetting, 47 to 55. Supreme personal form of the Lord. Only my pure devotees can know. Only my pure devotees know the personal form, my personal form. Only my pure devotees. So that is very important to understand what is pure devotion. So in this way, this chapter is section clearly laid out. So now we will discuss primarily the first verse and then the last verse. Last verse is very important. That itself covers, it can be given many classes. One class is not enough. So that's why I will discuss on that particular verse. I will not be able to do justice of covering the whole. We won't have time. Only 27 minutes are there. The first verse, Arjuna is describing that, so Arjuna Vacha, Mad Anugrahaya Paramam, Guhyam Adhyatma Sangritam, Taya Vachastena, Tayokten Vachastena, Mohoyam Begato Mama, Mad Anugrahaya Paramam. Is completely, this is a very important instruction. One is very grateful to the person who has brought us to Krishna consciousness. One is grateful who is constantly guiding us. One is grateful, of course, to the Lord, but also to the person who is helping us materially and spiritually also. But more, one is helping us, permanent help means spiritually, bringing us to the path, correcting, or instructing, guiding, suggesting. So this is not the right way, this is the right, this is the correct way to do it, this is the way how you can improve it. One who is guiding, then we should be very grateful, we should be submissive, we should take more of that association also, so that we can go to the next level. So that's why Arjuna is not demanding. Arjuna is very, very humbly submitting. Mad Anugraha, by your grace I am able to come to this state of consciousness. I am only humbly requesting, if we can show your universal Mad Anugrahaya Paramam, Guhyam Adhyatma Sangnitam. I have understood their confidential discussions, confidential discourses you have described by your grace, by your mercy. So, Anugrahaya Paramam, Tvaya Vachastena, Tvayoktam Vachastena. As you have described, by your grace, by your mercy. Now all my illusion is gone. Basically, in the 10th chapter and 11th chapter, Arjuna has come to that understanding that he is not my friend, he is Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Even though he is standing as he is there as chariot driver, he is standing before me, but he is not. He could understand, come to that point. So that is what this verse is telling. 10th chapter he already said it. Param Brahma Param Dham Pavitram Bhavan in the 10th chapter. First time. Till that time, Arjuna never said what is Krishna's position. He never declared himself, never admitted. But so in this verse also he is repeating the same thing. Madhanugrahaya Paramam, Gushyam Adhyatma Sangritam. It is confidential matter. It can only be disclosed to the friend who is in line with Sadhu, Guru and Krishna, who is in line and is accepting the authority. So accepting the authority, which is also we'll discuss further on that. Who can chant. So in this way the 5 sections are laid out. The first verse is describing Arjuna. Further goes on to asking the Lord, please show your universal form. I want to show your Paramatma with one amsha, one part itself you are covering the whole thing. What can I explain? If by Paramatma form itself has so many vibhutis, what more can I explain, Arjuna? And so in the 10th chapter, now show me that form so that I can see it. And this universal form has shown to many other places, many other times, at least 6 or 7 times has been displayed before to Mother Yashoda. Well, show me you ate dirt, mud, open your mouth. So that time, and there is one more time immediately after that, moon, showing the moon, that time also. 2 times Lord already showed. Each time it is different, unique, based on the relationship with Lord Krishna, so then unique. Just like we sang, Jai Radha Madhav. If you have heard first time, it is describing Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhur. All rasas are there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has penned this. He is so much attached to Jai Radha Madhav, Sri Radha Madhava, Sri Mayapur. So on that meditation he has written, and Prabhupada has simply followed his authority, using that prayer always, his class, everything. So it is important to understand the more Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayers or Acharya's songs. Knowing the verse is important, but also the essence, what it means, what is the purport, is very important. The songs we sing on a regular basis especially. First verse, then Arjuna is requesting the Lord Krishna, and then Lord Krishna started describing about this universal form. So I will show you this form, but this form you can't see with your current eyes. It is never visible before. It is never shown to others. I mean, this kind of form. What is showing to Arjuna is specific, because he was looking at a different angle than Yashoda. Yashoda is not want to know all the grandeur, how the creation is happening, how the annihilation is happening, all the opulence. She is at a different level. Arjuna is at a different level. So that's why Yashoda's 2 times Arjuna Lord Krishna showing the universal form is different, and this one Arjuna universal form is different. When the Lord Krishna came as a messenger to Kauravas assembly, that time it's different to what is shown to Duryodhana. Even then they couldn't understand, none of them could understand. Many of them could understand, let's put it that way. And then there is another also, Uttanka is another devotee of the Lord. Lord showed universal form to that. And in Chaitanya Leela, you will see in Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed universal form to Advaita Acharya. These many times, but it's all unique. Each devotee is in different rasa. So Lord accordingly showed this universal form at a different level. So the last verse we want to pick up, 1155, very important verse. Lord is describing Mat karma, Sri Bhagavan was Mat karma krun mat paramo mat bhakta sangavajja nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yassa mameti pandav. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that this is the 5-step formula to go back home, back to God, to perfect our life, to become permanently joyful, happy, thrilled. 5-step formula. If we can follow this, then our life is successful. Simple things. Mat karma krun, work for me. Whatever you are going to, anyway, your soul is active, everybody is active, everybody has to do work. So that you do it for me. So anyway you have to do, you might as well do it for me. So why? Because it will give you the permanent happiness and you can go back home, back to God. And you can come out of our threefold miseries and anxiety, frustration, lamentation. But the translation is in a different sequence. Verse is in a different sequence and Prabhupada puts translation different if you observed it carefully. Prabhupada is putting the first pure devotion service first in the translation, 1155. If you look at so mat karma krun, even the verse doesn't say like that. Because that is afterwards. Mat karma krun mat paramo. Make me the ultimate goal of life. Parama means many times this parama word is used throughout Bhagavad Gita. You'll see. So that means ultimate goal of life. Here in this case especially. Mat paramo, mat bhakta. Become my devotee or engage in pure devotion service. Paramo. Mat bhakta. Mat karma krun mat paramo mat bhakta sangavajjita. Sangavajjita means here. Sangha means association. Sangavajjita here, giving up bad association. That is there. But main point here, Prabhupada translates as giving up the mental speculation and fruitive activities. Karma kanda, jnana kanda. Mat karma krun, mat paramo, mat bhakta, sangavajjita. And nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. Nirvaira means friendly to all living entities. This is not the first time we see. So in Srimad Bhagavatam also many times, and Bhagavad Gita also he has already described in the character of self-reliance solo in the 2nd chapter. So in other chapters also you will see Lord is repeating this point. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yassa mameti pandava. If one follow these 5 steps, anybody can tell me what those 5 things? Matajis, anybody can tell me? 5-step formula. Anybody remembers? Any kids? What Prabhus? Anybody could say what those 5 things we just said?
Devotional service, free from contamination, it works for me, makes this supreme goal I will spread it to all living beings.
Yes. So first one is mat karma, work for me. Mat paramo, make me the supreme goal of life. And mat bhakta, become my devotee or engage in pure devotion service. Sangavajjita, give up fruitive activities and mental speculation. Bad association is by default in there. And then friendly to all living entities. As well as more friendly to devotees is even more important. Of course, friendly to all living entities, compassionate. But that is also helps a lot in advancement, practice, in our chanting, hearing, in every aspect. Friendly to sadhu, friendly to so the devotees becomes very easy to practice devotion service. These are the 5-step formula. So it is basically it is telling and Prabhupada writing. By this process, the whole essence of this chapter 11 is to know Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead in personal form. That is the whole idea. So Arjuna is basically asking, I have understood now all your vibhutis. Mahavishnu is a portion of yours. Mahavishnu is also is expansion of yours. And the Purushavatar is expansion of Mahavishnu. So Paramatma is also expansion of yours. So all these opulence, everything. And he could see this. Arjuna is standing, Lord Krishna is standing in front of Arjuna, By standing at one place, he could see the whole thing, all the details of the whole universe, everything. Past, present, future, everything he could see. But he could understand. He is not enamored by the opulence, but he could come to the understanding, the essence. That is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. He wants to prove. That is the one reason why this chapter is discussed. Why Arjuna is asking. He has already declared in 10th chapter. I have already known. But he is asking Lord Krishna to show this universal form for others to recognize. That means this universal form is coming from the Supreme Lord. It is not that formless is the topmost. Everything is coming from the formless. Everything is coming from the Brahma Jyoti. That is not the point. If that is so, then Lord wouldn't have done this. He explained and he showed it his two-handed form, then he showed four-handed form, universal form, then four-handed form, then finally back to two-handed form. Originally it was two-handed form and is describing to Arjuna, whole Bhagavad Gita. When he showed universal form, then he saw it, and then it was four-handed form, Mahavishnu. That means Mahavishnu is the source of all this. And then further he changed two-handed forms. That means Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the incarnation, including Mahavishnu, is coming from Lord Krishna. So that is the whole understanding and purpose. That is the whole purpose of this chapter 11. Now, to understand also before verse also is important. So in 8th chapter also that is mentioned. Bhaktya tu ananya sakya gnatum drashtum tatvena. So praveshtinch parantapa. Bhaktya tu ananya sakya. So one who engages only way one can understand Lord Krishna in a personal form, in a pure devotion, or especially personal form of Lord, only by bhakti. Bhakti is defined as devotional service. Prabhupada never writes devotion, it's service. Because you can respect your parent, you can respect demigod, you can offer respect, worship to anybody. But loving devotion service is only to one person, that is Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Vishnu. Not to demigod, not to anybody. Loving devotion service, bhajati, bhaj, bhakti. Wherever this is used, this is only meant exclusive for Lord Vishnu, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. Not for anybody else. Refer to the 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita, last verse, 47. Anybody claim, oh, this is Prabhupada's writing, that everywhere he puts bhakti, everywhere he writes a devotion service. No, this is not Prabhupada's. This is Krishna's statement Prabhupada is repeating. How can you say that? Go back to one verse before that, 6.46. What is the verse says? Anybody knows? Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, gnanibhyo adhiko yogi, karmibhyo adhiko yogi, yogi bhava Arjuna. Who is that yogi? Krishna is telling, Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Even more than ascetic, tapasi means those are yogis, meditating. Yama, nima, asana, pranayam, pratyaham, dhyana, dharana, samadhi, the 9-step process. Better than them is the yogi. Who is that yogi is describing later. So, the bhakti yogi basically. Bhakti yogi is better than the ascetic, the Ashtanga yogi. Even the Gnana yogi, bhakti yogi is better than even the Gnana yogi. Bhakti yogi is better than karma yogi. Tapasvibho, karmigno, jnanibhyo. 3 times. Clearly direct verse. So whose statement are we going to take? We are going to take the statement of those who are as not understanding what Krishna is saying, or we will take the statement of acharyas who are coming from a disciplic succession, giving the as it is version, what Krishna meant. So that's why Prabhupada puts at bhakti, where it is applicable and most of the places, because that's what Krishna meant. And acharyas are quoting and Prabhupada is just repeating. So he's not doing any mental speculation, he's as it is. So that verse is very important. The 6.46, 47, same way here also. As much as 4.9 is important because it says, how can you go back to Godhead? Only you understand the philosophy. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata. Tattva means truth. Truth of Krishna, who Krishna is. Is he a human being, is a demigod, is a great person, is what? The Supreme Personality of God. Understand him and then his energies, Shakti Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Shiva Tattva, Rasa Tattva, so Prema Tattva, all is the intricacies of it. If you are simple, it is not complicated, one will understand. If you are not simple, then only it will be difficult to understand. So it will be very easy to understand otherwise. No, this is that's what is Tattva means. It is transcendental. Lord's appearance, Lord's disappearance, Lord's birth, Lord's activities. This is understanding that philosophy. our relationship with the Lord, our relation with Prakriti, all this comes under this tattva. So that's why before coming to this 5-step formula, one verse before Krishna is, because people may think, oh, I can do it with my routine activity, I engage in any sacrifice, I can still do this 5-step. No. I can do with Jnana Marga? No. I can do it with yoga? No. That is a bhaktyadu ananya sakya gnatum drashtum cha tattvena. One sees through this vision, through bhakti process, then praveshtuncha parantapa, then one can enter into my abode. And then he gives how one can enter this 5-step formula. This is called, that's it's unlocking the full potential. In IT landscape, this is already discussed many different deeply, unlocking full potential of but we are talking here unlocking the full potential of the living entity, spirit soul. His identity is in relation with super soul, Parabrahman, where Jiva Brahma is Param Brahma. So that is our main identity and our relationship. So that's why here Mat Karma Krun, Mat Paramo, Mat Bhakta, Sanghavarja, Nirvaira, Sarva Bhutesh, Yassa Mame is 5-step formula. Now we have to understand, so is how will you work? Work for me means already, later on Krishna will describe further though. In 12th chapter, all the same thing elaborately is describing. Mat Karma, work for me means, if you are just like, so Srila Prabhupada, Memorial Day means remember. I am going to quote many memories, because Memorial Day weekend means you have to remember who. How to go here, there, enjoy. No. Memorial Day means memory of Srila Prabhupada, memory of the Lord Sri Radha Shyam Sundar, memory of the Vrindavan Vasis, the devotees, the loving devotion service. This is the memory. It has to etch in our heart. This is another subtle point under the unlocking full potential. You have to have an open heart, open mind, open hands. Prabhupada mentions in one of the memory, Pradyumna Prabhu or somebody else, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj or someone is sharing, that our Indian philosophy, this Vedic philosophy, Sanatana Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma means open door, open window, open mind. So in India it was like that. Now everybody is closing, locking up windows, everything, they don't open windows also. But that means you are ready to receptive. That means it's actually to do with the surrender. That's why the heart, open heart verse is 15.15. Lord is telling, if with your heart, if you submit to me, then I can give you everything. Intelligence, materials, everything I can give you. Matta sprutir gnanam apohanancha. That is open heart. Open mind means is already telling here, and then manmanava mad bhakto, that one. So then open hands, the activities means mais are 3.30 essence of Bhagavad Gita. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma cheta nirasi nirmamo bhutva sanyasya vigata jvara. You act in a great fire. You engage in activities, you work for me, you offer everything to me. My sarvani, every activity, whatever you are going to do in this world, IT, business, housewife, as education, as students, kids, whatever you do, but you do it for me. You offer results to me. So that doesn't mean Krishna wants everything. Everything is coming from Krishna. He's not going to take. We are offering, Krishna is giving back everything, isn't it? So that's why it's important. Mai sarvani karma. Sanyasya means you be detached to the results. Don't be attached. Sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. In your original consciousness. Adhyatma means you are in relation with super soul. So that's in that relation you should act. Sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. With your consciousness, with your impression, with your samskar. Nirasi. Without expecting, desiring the fruit, desiring the result, desiring the name, fame. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains also how one can do actual kirtan. Is quoting the Trinada Pisunichan, those 4 things. Trinada Pisunichan, Tarora Pisai, Amanina Manadena, Kirtani Sadari. He adds one more. Puja Pratishta. Those 2, he adds these 4 things. One must tolerate, more tolerant than a tree, more humbler than a blade of grass, give respect to everybody and don't expect respect. Plus Puja and Pratishta. When these things are there, one can actually chant, actually do the kirtan. We can do some kirtan. He himself goes into the ecstasy and he will drown others also in the ecstasy. So this is a very important point of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which we have to understand and try to inculcate. This can only happen if you are in the association of devotees. Again, everything comes back to that only. You bring 64 limbs of devotion service from Nectar Devotion, chapter 6. All the 64 comes down to one point only, that is Nama Sankirtan, Sankirtan, and then Sadhu Sangha. These two. Everything was chanting, hearing, but in the association. Everything has to be in the association of devotees. More we do that with respectfully, carefully, then we can actually engage in this mat karma krum, work for me. And so Prabhupada arranged marriage for Pradyumna Prabhu and Arundhati Mata. He arranged my marriage, but then immediately he told, now, so what are you going to do? Yes, she is going to type and you are going to transliterate the word to word synonyms. He has given the work to both of them. So like that, whoever, so he sent Malati Mataji, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, or so others, Mukunda Prabhu, and then other Mataji, 6 of them, 3 couples were sent to London to open temples. It took almost a year or more to open a temple, Radha Londoneswara and then other one. So this is what engaging in work for me. So that if you are carpentry, use your skills. If you know how to make the altars, you can make altars. If you are IT, you can make a website, you can improve the website, you can post the pictures. Many things one can do. So depending on what qualification you have, what skills you have, you can work, offer your results in the kitchen. You can clean dishes, you can cook, you can cut, you can make garlands. These are all mat karma kran. You could be IT, okay, business. You offer your business results to Krishna. So, as Prabhupada puts it, Hamsaduta, or I agree, one of them is a professor. He is still giving 50%, more than 50% to New Vrindavan, our temple. Prabhupada uses that example. So, as a devotee, because Rupa Goswami is short, so it means you can do whatever, at least try to offer whatever results, including our money, whatever we can, okay, after paying all the bills. At least something out of whatever left, do something. So this is mat karma kran, because everything anyway belongs to the Lord. Because while going away from this world, then we can't take anything with us anyway. So we might as well give now. Prabhupada tells sometimes, people come to Vrindavan, yes, this land is my son, this property is my daughter, and everything, they will come to Vrindavan empty-handed. Nothing for Lord Radha Shyam Sundar. Everything is for family. Krishna is also very smart, is very cunning, expert cheater, so he will also do accordingly. So it is to do with the consciousness. That doesn't mean you don't give it to your kids, you give, but something substantial should be given. Your heart should be given, of course. So it's an important principle. Everything Prabhupada says is amazing. It's very deep, very deep. It's what Prabhupada says, impious life is a misdirected civilization. It brings a revolution. That is the word Prabhupada uses. Revolution. This is all the statements are like that. So mat karma krun, that's what mat karma krun means. Mat paramo. Mat paramo means making the Krishna's ultimate goal of life. How can you do that? Pure devotion. These two are very important. So mat karma krun, mat paramo, we'll come to that. Mat paramo, mat bhakta, sangha varjita. Giving up the speculation means that is also important. As we grow in this process of bhakti, this also will be there. That's a open heart, open mind. Open mind means we might be coming from the various backgrounds, various philosophies, various thoughts, various doctrines, sometimes scientist doctrine. That's a Prabhupada, beyond illusion and doubt. If you haven't read that book, Prabhupada, look at that. All the philosophers, Aristotle to Socrates to so many, every philosophy has been given beyond illusion and doubt. Prabhupada doesn't stop, no stone unturned. Everything he'll open it up fully clearly. What is the real philosophy, what is bogus philosophy, what is reality, what is false, perverted reflection. Then only we can understand bhakti. Otherwise we think we are doing bhakti, but there may be mental speculation on our thought process. That's why when we have open mind, you accept, you study with your logic and argument what Prabhupada has to say in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, then we can understand, we can put in practice. Because if we don't develop faith, if we don't understand, it doesn't make sense. If we're not in the asana, then we don't ask questions, we don't really put our efforts, then we can't put in practice. But if you faithfully understand why we are chanting, why we are dancing, why we are worshipping the Lord, why we do certain things, why always sadhu sangha, nama sankirtan, why it is stressed. If you understand the intricacies, the essence, why it is so, what is the reason, then we can do more. If we don't understand blindly means then चलेगा सब कुछ चलेगा. So then भगवत धाम भी बाद में, भगवान भी बाद में देखेंगे कब चलेंगे. Just like the cobbler and Brahmana story Prabhupada tells. Cobbler is going back home this life. Brahmana is going later because he has so much mental peace. Thinking he is great. Great means you will be here. So one is thinking humble, then you can go back home easily. So that is the position Sri Prabhupada is saying here. So mat karma kram, mat paramo, mat bhakta, sanghavarjita. Sanghavarjita giving of the mental speculation. 2.55. First thing Lord is telling. Who is self-reliant? First character is no more mental speculation. Even chanting also. If you look at the verse, I think this verse, which our Amarendra Prabhu also quotes, I think when he came last time here, so in DC also gave a class on this verse. Evam vrata swapriya nama kirtya druta chitta uchchai. This is Antilila chapter 3. I forget the exact verse number. The beautiful verse. It says, Evam vrata. One is taking a vow. Committed vow, no matter what I am going to do this. What kind of vow? Evam vrata swapriya, very dear, swapriya nama, holy name of the Lord, very dear to the heart. Swapriya nama, kirtya. Prabhupada is writing, you see only kirtan, but Prabhupada is writing translation, chanting and dancing. Because when you will dance, and you feel some energy, some ecstasy, some happiness, then you will dance. Otherwise, you will stay like that on. So that means you are getting some taste. That means you understand it. So that's why Prabhupada is writing here, even though it says, that's why you have to pay attention to not only to words, especially translation, synonyms, and also translation and purport. Because Prabhupada amazingly translates how the sequence, everything you have to pay attention, a lot of attention. More you do that, then you can understand what Prabhupada is going to say very, very quickly. When you open a book and try to read the verse, by the time you come to translation, you know already what Prabhupada is going to say. If you study scrutinizingly, Tatsrutvam Supatana Vicharana Paro, how to study in the association very deeply and contemplate it. You hear and then you contemplate what does it mean. When I go back home, what I am going to do, what I have to change today, and tomorrow what I am going to change, how I am going to chant, how I am going to hear, how I am going to work. At home as a housewife, or at office, or at a business, how I am going to work? How will I offer my results? This is what contemplation means. In Nectar of Instruction, you will see that, verse number 8. Tan nama rupa charitad suketanan anusmutishtan vajetad anuragi jananugami kalam nayediti upadesasaram. Look at that verse. Who can go back to Godhead? Who can come to Samadhi? Hearing. Hearing has to be Sravana to Varana. That means deeply hearing. Oral reception, but after that you have to, that Varana has to come to Manana and then Smarana. Smaranavastha, Sampatti, Samadhi. That means various stages, even in hearing, various stages are there. And after that, when you deeply come, then you can actually remember. We have seen the darshan now, how long can you remember? Very few, very few. It's not easy. That means deep absorption. In hearing, then actually we can remember darshan. We take deep absorbed darshan, we can remember while chanting. Then our chanting will be very nice, wonderful. So otherwise it's very difficult. So that's why this is very important. Thing to understand. Mat karma kram, mat paramo, mat bhakta sanghavar, nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. No more fruitive activities. And then if you are beginners, okay, fine. You do fruitive, fine, what to do. But you also do bhakti. So gradually when you realize it, you will stop the fruitive activities and you come. Because many times devotees will do or people will do Senigraha, Navagraha, Pradakshana, Ganesh Puja, fine, okay. Beginner, fine, no problem. But as gradually you understand, everything is coming anyway from Lord Krishna. Why to do separately? Why to endeavor so many things? When Mahamantra is giving everything, when Bhagavatam is giving everything, when chanting, dancing is giving everything, why to do so many things? So, on a different, when I can take elevator and go quickly, why should I take steps and take walk all the steps? So that's why when we understand, you do it. But ideally, first time itself we should do. If not, open mind, open heart, open hands, then you can do it. If you don't, you are closed mind, then it takes time. So but it's okay. It's okay. Prabhupada is open philosophy. Fine, you come, be with us, be in the association, try to learn the process. You take your own time, nobody is forcing. Prabhupada never want to force, neither Krishna is forcing anybody. He's only explaining, he's asking Arjuna nicely at the end. Do you understand what you want to do? Very nicely, he's asking like a parent to child. Same way, Prabhupada is also asking, you want to go back home, back to God, you follow my process, this process. You can go back home. If you don't want to follow, we can't force. So that is the principle. Sangha Varja Nirvaira, that means friendly to all living entities. It's very important. So who can chant in that verse? If you look at Prabhupada quotes, go back to Adilila, refer to this verse. If you look at that verse and following verses, Adilila, 7th chapter, Panchatattva and 5 features, verse number somewhere 95, 96. 94 is the verse, 7, 94. But go back to 96. First 2 lines, if you read, Prabhupada is writing, who can chant? Whoever is submitting to the spiritual master, the Guru and Sadhu, they have the authority to chant. Anybody else? No authority. They can chant. They can try as long as they can try, keep trying every day, but something or other, mind will go here, there, either they can't wake up, or they will chant, but they are not in ecstasy, they can't feel joyful, they are not able to rapt attention, hearing with a great attention, inattentiveness is there. Because that's where one has to follow what Guru is. Prabhupada is saying, every day you wake up, every day you chant, every day you come to Sunday feast, Sadhu Sangha. Because this Prabhupada is Sadhu, we are not creating this, we are not concocting. Sunday feast is there by Prabhupada, he created it. He has established it. Anyway, we are not going to come to temple. So that's why Prabhupada said, morning Bhagavatam, evening Bhagavad class. So anyway you don't come, anyway you are interested in eating so many places, fine. We are going to give the feast, this is offered to Krishna, this is the best prasad you can have. Come and enjoy it. Anyway you are looking for enjoyment, here is the enjoyment, take it. So this is the Prabhupada's best process, you can't deny it. So you will enjoy it also. So this is what Prabhupada is writing here in Adilila. Many places you will see, but that's a Prabhupada's quotation you will see for the 11, 55 and 54. What is the verse Prabhupada is repeating? Svetasudara Upanishad, 6th chapter, verse number 23. What is that verse? What is the verse? Anybody knows? Famous verse. Famous verse. About the Guru. Very famous verse. Everything will be revealed. For whom? Prakasante Mahatmana. I am giving the hint. What is that verse? 6.47 Bhagavad Gita. In the purport you will see that. So in this 11:55 also, 54 or 55 you will see in the purport also. One who has unflinching faith on the spiritual master, then he can actually, everything will be revealed to him. How to chant, how to work smartly, how to do business, how to do wonderfully cook as a housewife, how to wonderfully do darshan, the Stringar darshan, or dress the deity, do the garland, everything. Everything will be revealed to whom? To person who has implicit faith on Guru, spiritual master. And who can chant? How can you come to pure devotion service? How can you engage in, how can you make the supreme goal of life? That is the first Guru, that means our Parampara Acharya first. Srila Prabhupada should be to be etched in our hearts. We have to love Srila Prabhupada, at least accept theoretically, bow down. At home also, every day, if you are not at the temple, every day you bow down to Prabhupada and your Guru, if you are initiated. If not, at least Prabhupada, offer a pranam mantra. Sometimes pranam mantra in the initial days, like Jadurani Mata repeats, I didn't know what is pranam mantra. Prabhupada said, she is asking for anything. She came for some cleaning or some painting, something. Said, no, you have to, why are you here? You have to be initiated. Oh, Prabhupada, I came for initiation. Yes. Do you chant? Do you like to follow this principle? Yes. She didn't know anything. Later on, Prabhupada said, then she called, okay, this week you will get initiated. Then Prabhupada asked pranam mantra. She bowed down, but when you bow down, always you have to chant pranam mantra. Prabhupada and Guru, especially Guru, if you are initiated. And Prabhupada, always 2 things are repeatedly chanted at least. Once and 3 times while offering 3 times. So then she couldn't chant. Then Prabhupada said, Nama Om, she repeated. Everything. See, this was the position at that time, but they are so humble. So that's why even if they don't know anything, not following anything, still Prabhupada was so much loving. That's why this friendly to all living is very important. Prabhupada writes in many places, Prabhupada never rejected any soul. Even if they made hundreds of blunders, never rejected any living entity. Even if they are initiated, even though they are sannyasis, whatever they did, he corrected, chastised, but he never rejected anybody. He was very compassionate. And he wants all of us also cooperate together, work together, serve together, understand each other. And this is mentioned in many places. Look at the verse 4, 8, 34. Dhruva Maharaj is being told by Narada Muni. What did he told? Gunadikam mudam lipset. Gunadikam mudam lipset. If one is greater than you, one is advanced than you, pleasingly, mudam means happiness. With great happiness, you accept that relation and engage in that service. Then anukrosham, gunadhama anukrosham. If one is lesser than you, be compassionate. If samanatvam anvichet, ichet means desire. Anvichet means even if is equal, is in the same level, then be friendly to him. Be friendly to him. If you do these three things, then tapa abhibhuyate. No more threefold misery. That is the problem, no? For chanting, for hearing, devotion service, problem is what? Threefold miseries. Three modes of material nature. Bhakti we are performing, but on what level? Karma, gnana, yoga, or no, especially the passion, ignorance. Sometimes goodness. But how will you remove? So that is why I said repeatedly. Shastra is telling, I am just repeating what Prabhupada is telling only. So sadhus are telling. I am not learned. I read Prabhupada's books a little bit, heard from sadhus, Guru Varga, Prabhupada's disciples and sadhus. They are coming regularly telling. Or Gauranga Darshan Prabhu says, what is that? We are not disowned. Disapproved, yes, we do mistakes, disapproved, but we are not disowned. Prabhupada never disowned, Lord never disowned. He is still compassionate, he is still merciful. So that's why we have to accept. If somebody doing, devotee is doing some fault, Prabhu, can you do like this? This is better way to do. Okay? So this way we can be better, we can improve the service, we can give pleasure to the Lord. So that way we are natural, respectfully, faithfully instructing, suggesting, guiding. This way if you do the dealings, that is what this verse is, 4, 8, 34. Refer to it, very important verse. Narada Muni is telling to Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj followed it. That's why even when he came back, Suruchi, Suniti, everybody became so, especially Suruchi. She was against. She didn't want to put him on his father's lap. But she was completely normal, completely became friendly. See that. So that's what it is. When one becomes devotee naturally, Paramatma will help, and the devotee's attitude, behavior, conduct and his prayers, his blessing, is always praying. Devotee means is always praying for others, is always helping others, is always bringing others. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Prabhupada is quoting Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur and explaining how to chant. Those who are engaging others in this chanting, dancing, feasting, training them, guiding them, they get more mercy. Go on doing it, because this is what is dearmost to our acharyas. And Lord also becomes more and more. Sadhyo punad sadharmo viswadro api. That is yeah. Srutva anupatito dhyato adrito anumodito. 11 to 12. King Nemi is being told by Navayogendras. Srutva means you are hearing with oral reception. Tapped. Anumodito means you repeat. What has been heard is repeated. Anumodito. Srutva anupatito. Repeat. Anumodita means you glorify. So then adrito, with great respect and faith. In the word to word is only faith. But you look at the translation. Respect and faith. Just like Prabhupada writes, sincerity and what is sincerity? Seriousness. Seriously desiring to surrender, seriously desiring to chant, seriously desiring to hear, seriously desiring to come to Sunday feast and associate, seriously desiring to take Krishna Prasad, seriously desiring to associate with devotees, chant, dance, feast, all these things. That is what seriousness is. That's it. Sincere and serious. If you are sincere and serious, then Krishna will provide everything. Whatever we need, everything. Just be patient. It cannot happen in one day. Be patient, it will happen very soon, very quickly. To the degree we are 100% open heart, open mind, open hands, means you are ready to engage in any service. Prabhu, can you do this? Can you come here to do this service today? Nobody has showed up. Yes. I will try to come, Prabhu. Please wait. So this is what open hand. This open mind means, yes, whatever you say, yes, somebody may be telling wrong things, but still you listen, you accept it. Prabhu, I think Prabhupada says this. What you are saying is may be incorrect. You politely tell them, explain. Open mind, you hear, understand the other person also, then you explain things. This is open mind. Open heart means full surrender. full surrender to the spiritual master and the Lord and Sadhu and Guru. In this way, then you can understand actually Mad Bhakta, Mat Paramo. If these things are not happening, then we can't come to pure devotion service. We can't make the supreme goal of life. That's why the Nirvaira Sarvabhutesh is important, Sanghavajjata important, Mat Karma Kruna important. Then these two things can happen. Otherwise, these two things cannot happen. Many times you will see that sequence how Prabhupada puts it, in the way Prabhupada explains it. If we don't work for Krishna, because day and night we are mostly in Ugra Karma, it is not Vedic culture work, So what will you accumulate? Passion, ignorance from the office, everywhere outside, what can you draw? Only passion, ignorance. What do you bring home? That only. Then what will you bring to the chanting and hearing? That only. Then how will you purify it? That's why more you take the association, gunadikam madam lipset, gunadamat anukrosam, then samanattam anvichen, tapa abhibhuyate. Beautiful verse. Beautiful, like our Gaurang Prabhu explains this. Prabhupada explains many. So Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, that 8th chapter, beautiful verse. Every verse is so great. 17 verse, start with 17 verses, great. 24, 3-4 verses are mind-blowing verses. It can be talked for hours. Anyway, our time is up, I think, 44. I went long, so stop here. But I hope you have understood the gist, essence. Yes? Looks like not, I think. Doubts? Anybody has questions, comments? One question maybe. Already time is up. Anybody has one question? Correction? Maybe? Comment? Yes. Yes.
So it is very difficult for many. I've heard that anybody who gets into doing some service or doing sincerely,
Yes.
that means there will be conflicts, and that's not easy to have to achieve that position. So
Right.
how is it achieved?
So Prabhu is asking from Nirvaira means non-envious. When we do service, there is always general conflict. Then how do you handle it? Of course, the difference of opinion is always there. Even at the gopis level, there is a difference of opinion. So what to speak here? So, but you understand, when Krishna is in the center, then you accept it. When Prabhupada is in the center, you accept everything. When Prabhupada is not in the center, Krishna is not in the center, then my philosophy, then open heart is not there, open mind is not there, then it's a problem. But if you are constantly in the association of devotees, and you are receptive at least few devotees, if not all, then at least they will train you, they will guide you, they will correct you, slowly, gradually will come out of those conflicts. Because everybody has different, how do you chant? People have different ideas, how do you chant, where you will see it, and how, whether standard chant or you do 16 hours together, or you do 4 batches, or 16 hours whole day you will chant. So that is up to the, so if he wants to perfect, then he has to chant, as much as early in the morning, ideally one place. Yes, but it may not be work for everybody. So difference of opinion is always there in everything, in every aspect. Service, cleaning, everything. Garland, deity worship also. Different rasas are there. Everybody has a different way. Where should I put the flower? How to do the turban? You can't say, hey, why did you do that? Then conflict, right? So, but you can agree on one thing, as long as his heart is there, he is trying to listen, you can suggest. That is up to the senior devotees, those who are managing, they can see. We can't find fault with everyone because we are not at that level. It's not our job either. Gaurav Maharaj is not, Guru's job is to correct. It's not your job to look after and correct everybody. That's not your job. Finding fault. But you can tell to the management, you can tell to the leaders, Prabhu, see, this is what is happening. Can you do something? Then you don't enter into the conflict. Prabhupada also gives another nice thing. This is Jadurani Mata sharing. That Prabhupada told, I heard, 2 devotees are conversing. First time she came to the class. 2 devotees are conversing. Prabhupada told them that when 2 devotees are fighting, you understand that 2 clouds are going, but no sound, nothing, no problem. Same way, when 2 devotees are as though nothing has happened, you don't take it in the heart, you don't repeat that this is what happened. Unless it is a serious problem for the movement, for the serious problem for the temple, it is affecting others, then you bring it up to the management. Otherwise, you hear it, you leave it there. Don't tell it to your wife, husband, kids, what is happening, this, that. No need, no need. It is only spoiling our brain and spoiling others also, time and everything else. So then we avoid the conflict, we avoid this inimical or unsensitive or many things you can say. So those we can avoid. You hear that's in the advanced devotee character, first thing is forgiveness, kshama, very important. Because you can forget and forgive. That also only you can develop it if you practice in the association. All these things, whatever we are discussing, most of them you will develop it. Provided we are in the association, provided we are under the guidance of someone, at least one devotee at least. Then somebody is there watching us, where we are going, right or wrong, he can correct us. Because if you are not disciplined, not even one, no, I myself is the master, I can do whatever I like, then nobody can help. So, but at least somebody is there to guide them, at least, this is how we learn, right? We have come to degrees and we all have studied. Teacher, at least one teacher we are generally receptive. So that teacher used to correct and chastise and love and everything. Same way we learn. So we like some teachers, isn't it? Same way. Here we should love Prabhupada. We should submit to Prabhupada whatever our heart says. Some devotee is complaining, some devotee is creating some agitation. You express it to Prabhupada, then Prabhupada will, and you can express to the advanced devotee also and see what they can do. Leave it to Guru. Ultimate point is, who can go back to Godhead? Tattva Kampam was telling, happiness, distress, whatever comes, this is by the mercy. Not only that, Prabhupada writes, after that he is offering obeisance also repeatedly. That means his understanding is updating. I have done so many offenses, so many things. So that's why I am suffering. You are giving only small dose. So please, I accept my humble offense. Please help me. Please guide me. I don't know what wrong I did, how to come out of this. Can you please help me? So this is the proper attitude of a practitioner. So then we can be joyful and happy. While chanting, will be joyful and happy, thrilled like Sanjay. We will come very quickly. If we read Prabhupada books under the guidance of, under the association of devotees, everything you can perfect. Your chanting, where somebody is there to wake you up, somebody is there to watch Prabhu. Can you do 16 rounds from tomorrow onwards? Can you increase your 4 rounds, 8 rounds? Somebody is there. If nobody is watching, nobody is going to tell you. You are on your own and nobody knows what's going on with you. Right? If you are reading, how many times you read Bhagavad Gita? If you are not sharing, you are not in the association, at least somebody will tell, Prabhu, can you finish Bhagavad Gita next month? You want to be initiated. At least you should read Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, what the initiation means? How do you know? You will not know. You will take simply a certificate, you will not know what to do. But at least if you have read Bhagavad Gita, that time it was 10 times, 2 times, minimum 2 times or more. Some devotees read Prabhupada time more than 10 times. Prabhupada's actual philosophy is 10 times Bhagavad Gita before initiation. Because fundamental has to be understood so that at least we don't give pain to Guru. That is the main thing. Because giving pain means honestly he has to suffer for us. Not only we are suffering. So hopefully that we have, yeah. I think we'll stop here. We're already over late. Yeah. Thank you very much for patiently listening. Chandra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti.